Good morning. Hello there. Kim Rowe here. It is, I don't know where you guys live, but I am in Pennsylvania and we had a little blizzard last night. So I originally had wanted to come to you live from our shop because I'm working there today, and I thought, well, I'll do it from our new workshop that we've been working on. And it ended up we are not opening till noon today. So I am coming to you live from my house. I could show you. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit and show you. It's too bright. Anyway, we have a lot of snow. Actually, and the beach near us got like a foot of snow, which is totally unusual for our beaches around here. So anyway, I am coming to you from my switcher studio here, and I do not have, where's my computer? Oh, let me grab my computer because then I can see your comments. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure if you have a question that I can answer your questions. So if you're jumping on with us and you're in the Painted Cottage, welcome. If you're on my For the Nest page, you need to check out Painted Cottage. It's our small group that we have that we are doing these fun little videos. So today we are doing It Takes a Village, and so I'm excited for that because they're these cute little houses. Hold on one second here. There we go. Cute little houses that we have, and there's going to be 4 different workshops throughout the day today. So stay tuned. If you are watching me on For the Nest page, after this is over, go over to, or you can do it now, go to the Painted Cottage group and just request to join, and we'll get you in there because you'll see my friends doing the rest of the villages today. So, oh, hello there. Okay, good. I see you all. Okay, good. So now let me just pull this up so I can read the comments as we go. Okay, so I'm going to shoot my camera down here. See if we can do this. And this is my villages that I kind of prepared ahead of time, and I did some fun little things with it, and this is what we're going to do. But I'm actually, as I was getting ready to do this, I thought of a few other little renditions of this village. So when I had them set up in my sunroom, I had a little air plant next to it, if you saw the picture, and they're a cute little winter scene, but you could use this white little farmhouse set really any time of the year and just put cute little things around it. But I had another idea, because if you've ever been to Charleston, I'm going to move this and bring in the set we're going to be actually working on. I did paint them ahead of time. Let me move these out of the way. And so we're going to be working on these. But if you've ever been to Charleston, South Carolina, you may have seen Rainbow Row. And as I'm doing these little houses, I'm like, oh my gosh, how could I make these a little more springy? Since the white ones looked a little wintry. Let me move these up a little bit. And I thought, I've been doing some fun things with some really pretty colors recently. And hello, everybody. So I thought, oh my gosh, how about doing them in kind of the colors of Rainbow Row? So that's what I'm going to do. Same exact idea, but just adding color to these. So what I did is I just glued this on. This is just a little piece of wood that I got at a craft shop. They come in packs of like 10 or something, and I had used them for a nativity set, and this was like little baby Jesus, and I put a head on it. But you can use these. They're pre-cut. They're just come in little bags of, multiple ones. And then these, you can actually just cut these yourself. These are just like almost like 2x4s. I actually have a few sets of them at our shop. I did use them earlier for another workshop that we had, but you can, get these little houses in different areas and different sizes and all that. So it doesn't matter the size, but we're just kind of going to be doing some different ideas with color and stuff like that. So, okay, someone's from Lower Michigan. I don't know if you're getting snow up there. If there's anybody from Boston, I know you're getting a ton. New Jersey got a bunch today too, or last night. It's actually still coming down just very fine around here. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start, like I said, I just put a primer coat on these They were just like, raw wood, so you can see that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 4 different colors. I had one other color that I really wanted to use, but I left it at the shop. So I'm going to use the white on one of them, which is white ash, and I'm using farmhouse paint this morning. I have Pink Lady. See if you can see these colors. I don't know. The other one is called Blue Toile and French Blue. So let's start with, I'm going to start with, I think this is French Blue. I put them into an egg crate here so that I'd have them all ready. And I'm just going to paint over my primer coat so that we get a good coat on these. And like I said, I just glued this little door on, so I'm just going to hold it because it's still moving a little bit. And this paint has a built-in top coat, so you won't have to put a top coat on these. And it covers really nicely, so one coat is probably going to be enough for this project. I was doing some, my sister, actually I just kicked them all out of my house. She bought a house and they are moving, and we were there painting last night, and I was painting some chairs for her, and we used this black paint on they're just like oak chairs, and they're turning out really great, but that definitely needed 2 coats. But these are, just 1 coat is probably good. So I'm just going to, and it dries pretty quickly, so we'll hopefully be able to not have to use my dryer, but if we do, that's fine too. Okay, so this one is French Blue. I'm going to put this in the water and move on to the next color. Let's do this one in Pink Lady. Now, I have 3 boys, so, oh good, I'm glad you have some sun there. I'm wondering what the rest of you are seeing on this blustery day. So this color, I have 3 boys, so when I can do something pink, I do enjoy it. I'm not like a girly girl really, but I do, I do like to do some fun little girl projects sometimes. So sometimes I'll do a cute little dresser or, nightstands or something like that, and it's fun for me because, I had trucks and boys stuff, snakes and frogs and, all that stuff. Now my boys are grown now, so, but, it is still fun to do some pink every once in a while. So I'm doing this big one pink. There we go. All right, so it looks white in the video, but it is pink. And I'm going to put this one aside and close this one up. And then the next color, like I said, I had another greenish blue that I really wanted to do, but we'll just do one white, it's fine. And that's going to be white ash. Thank you all for joining us this morning. You're in for a treat because there's going to be so many different little villages that you're going to be able to see today. So this actually, it's called white ash, but it's not white as much as it is a very, very light gray. So that'll be good. It'll be not quite white, but I think this is what I used on my sample ones that we did earlier. And if you are local to Pennsylvania and my shop in Downingtown, or my booth is at Downingtown Vintage, come see us today afternoon. We are going to be opening at noon, and then we're also going to be doing a live video at 2 o'clock for those of you who want to shop from home. Okay, so there is the white ash, and the final one I'm going to use is Blue Toile. And I'm just going to wipe off some of this paint, and I'm going to use the same brush to save the brush. So doesn't this kind of look like Rainbow Row? I'm like, it was funny, it hit me, I don't know if this was in the middle of the night or yesterday at some point, but I'm like, what can I do to make them a little not as wintry, since we're hopefully, well, today is definitely a wintry day, but just make it like we're looking towards some brighter colors, So let me just do this side here, and we'll let these dry. Okay, so I'm going to let them dry, and let me move my paint out of the way, and we're going to do our little bit of decorations on these. So what I used was, let me grab my molds here. And if you watched our bird houses, some of us use molds on those too. They're a lot of fun. I am using, I pulled out the trimming mold. I forget if this is 1 or 2. I don't think it says on here. Because I was thinking of using, like, these are cute with the little flowers. There's the rope design. But what I actually used, and I got my inspiration from some little houses. I think they were on the Pottery Barn Christmas displays. And they were ceramic, and they just were bisque, you know, real matte. And they had this little trim along the edge that was like these little dots. And so I saw this, and I'm like, oh, this will be perfect to use on there. So hello there, everybody. Hello, Jeannie, Kelly, Cheryl, Lori, all these people. I'm so excited to see that you're watching us on this Saturday morning, almost afternoon for me here. So what I do is I'm using this air dry clay, like Iron Orchid, and I'm just going to, I keep it in a bag because if you don't keep it in a bag, it can harden up. So I just, once I open it, keep it in a Ziploc. But what I'm going to do here, let me just move my little houses to the side, and we will create our molds. So now, as you can see, this mold, I used it yesterday. I was doing some things at a workshop. So now in here, you can tell I did not put the cornstarch in. I don't think I've used this one yet, but this one I know I have. But typically, I'll just sprinkle a little cornstarch in there. That helps when you're removing it, but this should be fine. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit here, roll it, and I'm going to make a couple at a time. I can already see that these are drying here, so that's a good thing. And I'm sitting in my kitchen when my husband was leaving to help my sister. He's like, "You're painting on our kitchen counter?" I said, "Well, I have it covered here. Hopefully I don't make a mess." He didn't really care, but... okay, so I got my clay and I just rolled it into a little snake, as we used to say back in the day, and I'm just going to press it into this mold. So, and when I have the excess, I just like to put it back in the bag, just so it doesn't dry out. But what I'm going to do is, and I don't have my little tool here, but I'm just going to use my thumb, and I'm wiping it across the edge, because with this micro rim, it makes it really easy to remove the excess, and it gives you a nice flat surface on the back. So so Seattle's cloudy but cold, 27. Wow, I didn't know it got that cold in Seattle. Okay, and then we're just going to pop this out. Now, if I had put the cornstarch in, it really just pops out, but it's coming out pretty easily. And as you can see, it's like a little bead of pearls, isn't it? So cute. So what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to make a couple of these first. Let me put them to the side here. And then I'll make a couple. I don't have to put them on all because I don't want to go over, because I don't want to miss the next video, which I think is Joni. I gotta double check. I gotta look at my picture and see who's next. We kind of switched up our, if one of you guys is watching, post who's next, because I think it's Joni. We have Joni from Weathered Wings, we have Tammy from Flipping Furniture, and we have Jane from Surface Anthology. All of us are so unique in our styles, and I think that's what is so fun about this, because each one has a different take on the project. So even though we're all doing villages, they're all going to be just a little different. So you're going to see lots of different techniques today too, which is cool. Okay, so again, just wiping back the clay and making sure the back is nice and smooth, and then it just pops right out of the mold. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I think we can, this blue one's looking pretty dry. 50 days till spring. Thank you, Lori. That does make me feel better. I bet, Jane, you're liking this. I was thinking about you this morning as I was getting up and looking outside, and I thought, oh, she's in Connecticut. I bet you, I know they're getting dumped on up there, so you're not going anywhere today, I'm sure. Karen, I'm glad you are joining us, so we're thanking you for being a part of our group. Okay, there we go. And let's just pull this one out. Oh, I broke it, but it's okay because these are, I'm using little pieces of them anyway. So let's, I should have grabbed my, actually I think I have my cornstarch up here. I am sitting in my kitchen, so I'm sure I have some. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside. And, okay, 9 degrees. I think it says 16 on my little thermometer over there. Okay, this guy's dry, this guy's dry. The pink and the blue are still. So let's start with these two. I'm going to grab my glue. So I'm using Titebond glue, and I know you can get this lots of different places. I feel like I get it on Amazon or Home Depot or something. So what I'm going to do is, when I looked at my inspiration ones, I did notice some of them were kind of curvy. Some of them were straight, so you kind of decide what you want, how you want to do it. And then this little piece actually that broke is actually the perfect size for this one. So what I'm going to do is, let me move this to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Let these dry, and I'm going to just put a little bit of glue, but you want to put enough so that it covers all to the edges. And then what I like to do is I have my glue, because it's not a full bottle, I like to keep it in a mug close by, upside down, and then it's always ready to come out. So I'm just taking it, spreading this glue to the edges, and there we go. And then I do have my apron on, so I usually just wipe it on myself. And I'm going to start with this gray one in front of me. And you do have, it's not like crazy glue. My great-grandmother glued her fingers together when and it still is like one of my memories as a child when we went, she had to go to the hospital and get her fingers separated from each other. So this is not crazy glue. This is just a great glue because it holds really nicely. It's called Quick and Thick, and it won't, even if you're holding it up, it's not going to slide down. So there is my little roof line. And let's do this one here. I'm going to do this one down the edges. So I'll probably do one there and one here. Okay. Grab my glue. And then what you want to do is paint over these quickly so that they will, well, I'm going to paint over them quickly. You can let these dry. Usually with clay, I do paint it right after I've glued it, like let it sit for maybe 10 minutes or so just to get a good kind of skin over it. But I'm going to turn this so that it'll just go there. And because these are little like beads, it's very easy to kind of connect another one. So anyway, yeah, I like to let it sit for just a little bit of time. You can even use a heat gun or something like that to, just give that little bit of skin over it. But, and then you can paint right over it while the clay is still moldable. It doesn't have to be dry. Okay. Here we go. And let's see, this one will fit there, and oh my goodness, I have just enough. So let's glue this one, and then we'll just, I'm going to leave the sides on this one plain. See, I didn't leave my glue upside down, so it's not, I have like 3 bottles of this sitting all over the place. Okay. I know. Brenda, hello Brenda, she was at our workshop and she saw my village in person this week with her cousin and friend. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right on here. Now that I'm thinking about it, let's try that. It might be easier. But the thing is, you do want to make sure that you have the full little backing covered. So just move it around a little bit so that it is good. And I'm going to bend this one just to give it a little bit of a different look. Okay, so those are done. Now, I had this little tool I was going to use, but I left it at the shop because originally I was going to be working from there, but it's called an uh-oh tool, and it's a tiny little squeegee. It's so cool, and it just can get in there and, you know, where your fingers can't. So, okay, so let me just show you here how this looks, okay? And when I did it, you know, with the white paint, the white, maybe I did use just plain white, because this does look more gray. I think I used just plain classic white or cotton white. So anyway, let's now, I'm going to grab my brush again. Let me see, because I put that in the water here. Let me just get my rag and just to touch this up with the blue. This was this blue. And I'm just going to stipple it in there kind of softly because you don't want to mess up your molds. You don't want them moving around and stuff because they still could move. So just, and then move your, you know, look at it from all angles, making sure that you got enough coverage. Now your clay could separate a little bit as it dries. It kind of shrinks sometimes. That's okay. You can always go back and add a little bit in, you know, if you want to, or a lot of times for me, it's, I don't mind it because I just like the crackling look, but on here, if these separate, you might just want to take a little clay and you can add it in there. All right, and let me get the white ash here. Hello from Pennsylvania. What part of Pennsylvania are you from? Are you from around Downingtown? Because we got snow. I'm wondering of the rest of Pennsylvania. I don't know. Okay. And again, I'm just going to lightly, and this brush is a, this is the S30 brush from Klingon. I love these brushes, but it is damp. So this is going to spread the paint really easily over these molds. And just getting from all angles. I only had a little bit left in this one, so I didn't really put it in my egg container, but okay. And I'm just doing a little stipple in there to get it good. We'll let that dry. Okay, so these are drying over here. They're getting there, almost done. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do the molds on these, but you know, I will eventually, but you don't need to see me continue. Oh, good. Tammy's up next. Okay, I was confused. So Tammy on flipping furniture is up next. Okay, so here's these with the molds. These are almost dry. I'm going to let them dry just a little bit more, but I'm going to show you the next part and move my molds out of the way here. We are going to decorate. I've got black paint up here, and what I'm going to use is just a couple little artist brushes that I have here. And I did this freehand, so I did not do it perfectly. Let me grab the little sample to show you. What I would have liked to do is maybe have a square stamp or something like that. I did use, I thought this was a cute idea. I do have these cute little sponges, and they're circles. So what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of the black paint, and I'm going to stamp it off over here so that it's not too much. I just want a little bit. And I'm going to put a little window up here. So what I did is I just figured out where I wanted it, twisted this to make a nice circle because I could have never done this freehand, and lift. Let me just get a little bit more up there. So you're just twisting it. There we go. So that's going to be one little window. And I could put another one there. Maybe I'll do, oh actually I did one on the door. Yeah, I think I'll do that just since I have this little sponge out here. I did one on this door. I thought that was cute. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. And then what I did is I took just a real fine, this one has a, you can just get these brushes you know, at your local craft store, they usually come in sets. And you want to get a good amount on your brush, and this one is actually kind of a little rough, but what I did was, like, well, actually I can do with this little door that I did here, I think what I did is I used, actually, let me grab the bigger one here, this one, and I started with a circle and then pulled it down. So again, same thing. I'm going to do it on this one because I don't want two circles. So, like that, and then, so this is kind of like, you know, just playing around. Maybe you would even use a pencil and draw where you want your, you know, windows and doors and stuff like that. I just kind of went for it, and it worked out. But, so, can you see me? I just flicked a little black paint there, so I'll have to touch that up, but I'll let it dry first. So, just kind of free-handing this, and the brushes really help if they have a nice flat edge. Here on this one I put like a little circular window. Now these are drying over here, so I think I'm going to add with this one, hold on, I just lost y'all, and my fingers have glue on them. There we go. Okay, so let's see here. On these big ones, I think I just will do, now what you could do is I'm going to take a card like this, so that I can line it up and, you know, go along a straight line. I'm going to start about here. And the worst thing that can happen with this is that you don't like it, you paint over it. That's what I love about this. So I'm just going to, this is like a little tall house, and I think I like to have maybe 3 windows in a row here. And they don't have to be perfect. No. I'm going to, like I said, it really helps if you have a nice flat edge on your brush. So sometimes the older brushes will get, you know, a little rough. So I'm going to do the same set of windows on this other side here. Let me rip my card because I don't want my paint on there spreading. So let's do the same thing over here. And I try and measure it. I mean, obviously I'm not using a ruler, but just eye it up so that it's about, I know what it is. It's my brush is falling apart. It's peeling off. It's been sitting in the water too long. So there, there, and there. And then you can clean it up, get a little more paint on there. You get a little music playing in the background. I was in a store yesterday, and the funniest thing, they had Christmas music playing, and I'm like, is this Christmas music? She said, it was this at Williams-Sonoma, so it wasn't like a, you know, just a little shop. She said they gave them the wrong CD, and they could not get it changed, and so the music was playing Christmas. It was very funny. Okay, so there's my little houses. I think I'm gonna, this one needs to be just a little bit higher here. And these are drying nicely over here. I'll put this to the side. I'm going to hold off on this one for now because I just want to show you what else I did. Let me rinse this brush out. So then what I did, to give it just like that little bit of a, it looks like there's a kind of a glare on the window, I used one of these blues and a little bit of the gray mixed so that it's not like solid blue, but I just took a little bit here, and well, this one's drying over here. Let me just show you. And I did it kind of like just following the edge of the window. So kind of making it, and you want the black to even kind of show through, so it almost looks like, you know, there's a little glare on the window. It doesn't look like just plain black. And you can even do that while these are still wet, because it's just going to, you know, blend in a little bit. So let me just show you how that looks as you do it. And you can just put, you know, straight little streaks, and it kind of blends with the black. And then I'll get another. And the other thing too is, so I'm looking at it, and like the sun might be coming this way, so you want to do, like if I'm doing these little glare marks, you want to do them on the same side of each of your windows, if that makes sense. So then that way it looks uniform. And this one, I think I'm just going to leave the blue. I think before I added just a tiny bit of white, and you can do that too. But this is just free-handed. And so you add your windows to wherever you want. This little guy over here is just the door, and maybe I put like a little window up here, rounded, and trying to keep a steady hand while I'm holding it. So there you go. Okay, so this is my rainbow row kind of starting to come together on these tall ones. One I just did the trim, and the other thing I thought is, how cute would it be, you could do white on one side and then your color on the other, maybe all green or blue or whatever, and then you could use these, stand them up for you know, like Christmas. You could even make them Christmassy with a little tree or a little wreath on the door. And then this side you would have, and you just flip them over. You could even do the trim on, you know, this molding on both sides. In fact, I loved the mold we had last year from Iron Orchid that had trees on it, and you could put a little Christmas tree, you know, next to your door or something like that. So there's so many things you can do with these. Anyway, I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to show you one other little thing that I added to my houses, because I just thought about it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to add one more little thing. So here's my originals again. And what I did was, and if you watch the birdhouses, I used this on the birdhouses as well. Let me move all this out of the way. So what I did is I used a chip brush, and these are just, you know, brushes that have very uneven edges. They kind of shed sometimes. You got to be careful about that. And I used this Metalize product. So this is from Farmhouse as well. And basically it's kind of like when you're doing gold leafing, but what I have here is, this is called Pearl, opalescent pearl, or just pearl, but they come in these shimmers. And so the one side is kind of like a matte, but you can see here where I've used some of it, and it starts to kind of come off. Oh, and I forgot to bring my brush up, but that's okay. We'll figure it. So what I did is I painted this ahead of time onto just my edges of my molding, and a little bit on this one. I just did it, and you can maybe see. Let me see if you can see it. It's can't really see it, but anyway, there's like a little. It's tacky for one thing, and then it's also got a little bit of a gloss to it. So you'll know when it's dry. You let it dry. I did it on the seal. There you go. See how it's kind of got like a shimmer. That you'll let it dry for about maybe 10 minutes, and you can actually even use your dryer on it to dry it if you want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut some pieces of this, and I'm going to, now I didn't try this ahead of time, so I've used this over blue, the white over blue. I did some angel wings with like a raised stencil, and it looked really pretty. I'm going to try and use I didn't bring there's a brush that you kind of rub it with, but this should work. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to lay this on here, and with this brush, I'm going to see if it'll stick in. The other brush is it almost looks like a little shoe shine brush, so it gets into the details and the edges really well, but I forgot to bring it upstairs, so I don't want to. And these have been, the Metalize has been drying on these for a little while, so let's see if it's working. It did, it's hard to see in the picture, but let me do it on here, and I can use my hand because I don't want to, so I'm just going to rub it on because I did the whole roof here with this. And again, it's not going to show up as well. Actually, what I should do is show it on the other little rainbow houses. But what it does, let's see if I can show you. It gives it just a metal shimmer, and you can see it did remove that, and it's on the roof. So it kind of has an opalescent shimmer. Wow, I really can't get it on there. But you'll have to trust me on it. Now, there's also, actually, I could grab my silver because the silver would show up. If you give me 1 second, because I've got a little bit of time. Let me grab my silver. Hold on 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me grab it. Okay, here I come. Okay, sorry, but I think this will be better. You can see it. I should have done a little test strip, but they also come in, these are 6-inch sizes. They also come in the 3-inch, but this will show up much better, and I think it'll be cute on here. Now this will definitely give it a wintry look, and so the white was too, and then this is the brush that you use. And you just, the nice thing about it is it's a little bit sturdier than my paintbrush was. So it's going to, there we go. Now you can see it. Now the top is I already kind of covered the metallized with the white one, but I'll do over here so you can kind of see. I really like it. Now I did do down here too. I did all of the molds. I just did a little bit of the wood on here to kind of give it like icicles were kind of forming or whatever. So there we go. And I'll take pictures of these and post them in the painted cottage, but let's just do another one here. Now the other thing you could do, you don't need to put any top coats on any of this because it's all already in there, but you know, you can add glazes to this. You can, you know, the glazes would really pick up all the details of the molds, but once you add this metallized and the metal shimmer, I meant to show you, the other thing I did on this one, I actually just took the mold, and I can still do it. Let me show you. I took the mold and I just pressed it a little bit. So I smushed the clay, and I would just have to repaint this a little bit, maybe, might not, but I just pushed these little beads so they smushed a little bit. And I saw that, so this roof on this one, I did that, and then I left the sides. So it just gives it a different look. I thought it was kind of cute. So let's try this up here. These are just so cute, these little houses. There we go. Now you can really see it. See how that shimmers on there? And it does give it, this definitely gives it a more wintry look with the silver, but why not do on the, like I said, why not do something on the back side that's more springy? You have these little shapes. Why not use both sides? And maybe one of my friends is doing that today. I don't know. But you could also take one of their ideas with, you know, an inlay or a transfer or whatever they're using today, and do the same, you know, use this little wintry theme on the one side, and then do a Valentine theme or, you know, something like that on the other. So this clay, once it dries, and so I would not be doing this metallized until the clay is totally dry. You want to wait till it is like hardened. So this has been, I've had this done for weeks. Obviously we had to have our pictures for our houses. So this is very hard, and you don't have to worry about doing it. I would not be doing it to those pieces because that clay is still soft and moldable. And so this paper, you just keep moving it. Let me move this up here. Just keep moving it. You can see where you've used it, and then you just kind of use a new section of it. So there we go. It just gives it a little kind of shimmery look. And then when you put them together, cute. It just adds a little bling if you like bling. This one, I just put it on the roof area here, and you can see on the back, see how you can see where I've used it. Sorry, I'm missing if you have questions. Let me look. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, no problem. You can always watch the replay. North Dakota. Wow, my brother, I think, is actually heading up there. Actually, I'm going with some friends. We're going to be doing national parks this summer. We are not going to make it to the Dakotas. They are going to continue, and we have to come home, but that's one place I've always wanted to go. Okay, so this is kind of nice because with these little projects, you can just use all the, just keep using this over and over again. And I didn't put it on the roof of this one, but I probably would go back and just add some onto here. Oh, I did add it on here, so let me do this one. And I might need a new piece just because I used. So can you see? On these flat surfaces, it works really great. But if you've ever used raised stencils, they're really fun to use this metalize on. So there we go, it just kind of finishes that. And then let's do this last but not least little guy here on the roof. And you could also go back and, now on this one it's not going to show up as much as I thought, but the white, like I said, I've used it in layers, but you would have to add another layer of your metalize medium and then go back. And so I've done it where, like with the angel wings that I made, I used white and then I went back with the gold over the blue, and it was very pretty. And that was a raised stencil. So there we go. So you can see, oh, and I missed the side here. Okay. Oh, one more. So this paper is called, yes, Cheryl, no problem. Okay, you guys, sorry, the foil is interesting stuff. I love it on the roof. Thank you. Yeah, so this is something I had never tried before, but it's called metallic shimmer papers, and they come in tons of colors. And I have them on my website. I'll post the link. But basically what you need is this metallized product, which this is an 8-ounce size. I think it's like $16. And then you get a roll, and the rolls come in this size or this size. And they are, I know the smaller ones I think are about $15 or $16. And I don't know what the price of this one is. This one's bigger. But I would say this is plenty. You don't need the bigger one. Just get the smaller ones because, it goes a long way. You can see how thick this roll is, and I've already used some of it. But they come in. I use the gold, silver, bronze. There's a rose gold. I mean, it's a copper. It's not rose gold, called copper. And then the white. But there's also an ocean blue. There's a fuchsia. There's a red. Which would be really fun for a Valentine project. So they're a lot of fun, and the brushes are a couple dollars. I think they're maybe $4 or $5. But if you have a brush that's kind of like this, it'll work. But they're great for, all kinds of projects. Really fun, and like I said, it goes a long way. So hopefully you can see that shimmer, and you can see my little village here. Just added a little bit of bling to it. Now the other thing you could do with it too is, like, I could take this brush, and this is what else I've done. I've kind of gone on the edges, and because it's so rough on the edges here, it'll just leave that metalize in a rough pattern, and it kind of did it up in here a little bit and up in here, so that you can also do it in a really straight line too, but sometimes for just a little accent, I'll just do that and then let it dry about 10 minutes, and you go back and you brush this on. So anyway, I am done with my project here. Let me see if anybody has any questions. Sorry, my computer went off. Okay, so no, you don't have to seal it afterward. This kind of has a, you don't have to seal it. Now, if it was something like getting a lot of wear and tear, like on a tabletop or something like that, I probably would just put a varnish or something over it. But is on there pretty good, and it's not sticky or anything anymore. When you're using the, it's not metal leaf, although they do have a metal leaf product as well, and it is your true metal leaf that comes in sheets. It's like a little book, and you take the pages out of it, and it's very, very fine. So this metallized, yes, can be used with metal leaf, but this is called a foil paper, shimmer foil papers. And I'll post a link in the comments after I'm done for the different colors and stuff. But I like it because the metal leaf can make a mess. It's like all over the place. And maybe it's just the way I do it and I'm not as neat with it, but all those little flakes kind of are super delicate. And this is much different. It's not nearly as delicate. Now it's not, your metal leaf is true. Like you can get, 14 karat gold metal leaf. That's not what this is, but it does look very, it's definitely a metal, where's my camera here? It definitely has a metallic shimmer to it. So, anyway, so yeah, it's, using it in tin. What about using it in tin? Yeah, this you can use this, on anything. I've seen people use it on hardware. You can use it as long as this metallized product, and it's tacky, it'll stick, but once you put the foil over it, it's not tacky anymore. So yeah, I think it would work fine on tin. I've used it on a little, like jars and glass and, that kind of thing too. So, but it's similar in metal leaf in that you put your sizing on with metal leaf, and this is what this metallized is. It's just, that's what they call it by Farmhouse Paint. It's called metallize, and it comes out clear. Thank you, Pat. Yeah, I'm glad I changed to the silver. In my mind, I was thinking this white would kind of give it a little glimmer, but it didn't show up on the camera very well, and the silver is perfect for this little village. So, yeah, what was I saying? There was a question. I love the color it added in. Yes, thank you. What about using it in tin? Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm glad you like these houses. So stay tuned. Tammy is up next at, it's 12 o'clock my time. So that's Eastern, but if you're in another time zone, it might be 11 o'clock. But if you have questions, post them in the comments. I'll be monitoring them. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, and if you don't follow me on For the Nest, you can go and do that. We all have some different things we share and show and all that. So I'm outside of Philadelphia area, and if you're ever around, please come find me. I'd love to meet you. I have a little shop where I sell all of the DIY products that you can use to upcycle your pieces. So anyway, have a wonderful morning. I ended a little early, so you have a time to have a bathroom break and maybe grab your lunch or something. So have a great day. Thank you all for watching, and I will see Tammy on the next one. Bye.